Alright, are we officially live? Let's see if we can find these comments. Alright. I believe we are officially live. What is up, everybody? Wonderbro here with Vacate Fear. And today, we've got a little bit of motivation in store for you, right? Because I know a lot of you are waking up today. A lot of you are trying to go on about your day. And there's still a lot of fear there, right? Which is normal, which is to be expected. You are in the sensitized state, after all. What would be the sensitized state without some fear there? So that's why the title of the stream says, I know you're scared, but it's time to recover. Because I see a lot of people, right? I see a lot of people still kind of iffy about if they want to get on board with positive accepting behaviors, if they want to get on board with retraining their brain, if they want to let their mind say whatever their mind's going to say, but instead make the choice to use those positive accepting behaviors in the face of fear to show their brain there's no real danger, right? I see a lot of people wanting to do that. A lot of people right on the edge. A lot of people want to dedicate to this, but that fear sets in and they go right back to the same old bad habits. They go right back to the same life, day after day after day, doing absolutely nothing to change up their behaviors, right? They're still reading about their condition on Google. They're still using all of these bad habits that are telling their brain that there's something wrong. They are still caving underneath of the fear instead of taking charge, okay, and being the person that the brain is going to look up to. So today, we're going to try to light a fire under some people's asses. Right? That's what we're going to try to do today. But as always, we will give it a few minutes to let some people get in here who want to catch us live. So everyone just relax. We will get started very, very soon. PJ, Mary, what's up? First, almost first. PJ beat you to it. Jack, what's up? Scott, Michael, how's it going, everybody? You smash the like button. It does help me grow. We are so close to 10K. So we're going to give it, those standard few minutes before we actually get started, and then we'll jump into it. All right. Olivia, what's up? Samantha, what's up? Welcome, guys. Right on time. I need a fire lit under my ass today, bro. That's what this stream is, guys. That's what this stream is. I feel like, obviously we've been talking about what needs to be done for the past 3 years. We've talked about letting your mind say whatever your mind wants to say, and instead of trying to fight the thoughts, let the mind say whatever it wants to say while you use positive accepting behaviors to retrain your brain in the face of fear, even though you don't feel like it, right? We've talked about that for what, going on 2-3 years now? So we're always focused on what to do. I feel like people know what to do, and a lot of people who've convinced themselves that they don't know what to do, they're just not doing it. So today, that is why we're focusing on motivation alone. That is why we are focusing on motivation alone. Thank you ever so much for sharing your knowledge and helping others to recover. It's my pleasure. No problem. No problem. It's what I'm here for. All right, guys, a few more minutes. We'll get going. So for those of you who are still kind of new to the new screens we've got, the new slides, if you see starting soon, we're just hanging out, we're talking to chat, we're going over channel news, right? If you see my face in the chat, that means we are talking about whatever is in the title. And if you see a screen that looks a lot like this one called post stream, that means the main point of the stream is over and we're back to just hanging out, answering questions, talking to chat. All right. I did that because it makes it a lot easier for people who watch the streams after they get uploaded to figure out where they are in the stream. What's up, Will? Welcome to the stream, dude. How you doing, man? How you doing, Will? Alright, guys, we're about to get started here. We are about to get started. Come one, come all. We are about to get going. And please do, guys, if you enjoy the streams, if you enjoy the videos, please make sure you leave a like. Please make sure you leave a like. I'm normally not that guy. Half the time I don't even remember myself. But we are so close to 10K, and leaving a like on the streams really does affect the YouTube algorithm. It makes the videos more popular, so it really does help. Alright, guys, we're about to get going. We're about to get going. I gotta do some pre-stream stretches. Oh, I gotta take a drink of water. This is gonna be a good one. Alright. I can use some motivation from morning anxiety, starting my days as normal as possible, but always waking up with a bad feeling. So again, this is not about waking up feeling like you're your princess, whatever. This is about waking up in the face of fear and getting on with your day as normal anyway. The brain only learns while the anxiety is turned on. So don't trick yourself into thinking, here I am trying to get on with my life as normal as possible, and I'm still waking up with a bad feeling. I must be failing. You got to understand something. You can only retrain while the anxiety is turned on. So this isn't about waking up feeling like sunshine and rainbows. This is about waking up and realizing that in the face of fear, you've got a brain to retrain, right? You got a brain to retrain. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that helps you with your question there. What's up, Coffee? Welcome. All right, guys. Let's see. Let's see here. Comments. Got to get those pulled up. All right. There we go. All right, you guys. There we go. We are officially on to the main point of the stream. I only discovered you a few days ago, but I'm so glad I did. I intend to watch plenty more of your videos. I've seen a few, and they are amazing. I appreciate that. Welcome to our YouTube family. I think you'll like it here. So, as I was saying, guys, a few minutes ago, while we were in the starting soon, we've talked for years and years and years. Hold on, I got a burp. Okay, there we go. We've talked for years and years and years and years about what you need to do, right? In fact, every one of our streams, most of our streams, Mary, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Before we even get started, Mary already breaking the tip goal. I'll update that right after I'm done. Thank you so much. Seriously, can we give her a round of applause? We've talked for years and years and years and years and years about what needs to be done, right? In fact, almost all of our streams are focused on what needs to be done. We either talk about how you need to let the mind say whatever the mind wants to say without touching it and just get on with your day, or we talk about the positive accepting behaviors. These are the two main keys in a nutshell, right? So every stream that we do, we're either talking about the positive accepting behaviors or we're talking about letting the mind say what it wants to say without getting involved while you use the positive accepting behaviors because you know all of this is bull crap anyway, right? So we've talked about that for years. Where are people going wrong? Don't get me wrong. We have a lot of people here that have recovered, that are succeeding every single day, right? You can find them in the comments. You can find them on the Discord. They're there, and there's a lot of them. But where are people going wrong? The people that are still here that ain't quite there yet. Where are they going wrong? Is it that they're not quite comprehending something when I say let your mind say whatever it wants to say, let the thoughts scream as loud as they want to scream while you use positive accepting behaviors, and you will start to retrain your brain and show your brain in the face of fear that there is no real danger, right? Are they not comprehending that? I don't believe it's that they're not comprehending that. I really honestly don't believe it's that they're not comprehending that. You know what I believe? I believe that those people are a lot like me, a lot like I used to be, right? I knew that recovery lied on the other side of fear, and it was all about going through that fear, allowing that fear to be, right? And showing the brain with those positive accepting behaviors, leaving those thoughts alone, that there was no real danger. I knew that. But here was my problem, and here's the problem that I think a lot of people out there have, okay? You know what to do, but because you feel like crap, okay, and I know you feel like absolute crap sometimes. I know you're terrified, and like the title of this stream says, I know you're scared, okay? But I know you know what to do. But because you feel like crap and because you feel scared, you're not quite willing to do it. So you give in to those old bad habits. You get on Google. You tell yourself that it's okay to just read one article, maybe. It's okay to just read a few articles about anxiety. You do the old coping methods, right? Whatever your coping methods are, you have to be honest with yourself. I don't know what your personal coping methods are, but you give in to these old ways of living. And believe me, the brain is watching. It sees this. It sees what you see and it hears what you hear, right? So if the brain sees you acting this way, if the brain sees you giving in to these old negative behaviors day after day, little or big, all right? Little or big. It doesn't matter what your negative behaviors are, the brain is watching. So you know what to do, and you feel like crap, and you feel scared, and therefore you're just not doing it. Right? So you continue to give in to your old negative coping methods, your old negative fearful behaviors in big or small ways because you just don't feel like doing it. And I understand, right? I understand. Someone in chat says, I don't know the positive behaviors yet. So the positive behaviors, basically, if you want to know what a positive behavior is, all you've got to do is ask yourself one question. How would I be behaving, okay? How would I be acting? How would I be living if I was not feeling anxious? And then do that thing. And this can be in big or small ways. Let's say, for example, I wake up today. I know I need to retrain my brain. I wake up feeling like crap. There's the anxiety. There's the mind. It's talking all of its bullshit already, right? So most people in that instance, they would do what they're used to doing. They would do what they're used to doing, which is either stay in bed or kind of mope around. Wonder Bro said I need to do positive behaviors to retrain my brain. I guess I'll just drag myself. I'll just drag myself to the bathroom and brush my teeth, and then after that I'll read my article on Google about how my heart might explode. Right after that, I'll go back to bed and I'll hunch over in bed and I'll do all of these coping methods and all of these coping behaviors that make me feel a little bit better. Anything that you're doing to try to avoid the anxiety and panic response can be considered a coping method. So you really need to shake the game up here, right? If your brain is watching you to determine if there's a real danger or not based on how you react to the anxiety, and you're laying in bed all day, or you only do a few things as quick as you can and then you rush back to bed, or if you only do a few things as quick as you can and as rushed as you can, and then you go back to the same old couch where you've sat for 2 years hunkered over on Google, what do you think the brain's going to assume, right? What do you think the brain's going to assume? Anyone in chat know? So if I wake up feeling like crap and I head to that same old couch that I've headed to for the past 2 years, and I sit in the same old defeated, slouched position, and I head to the same old Google forms, and I head to the same old videos about how I won't go crazy, if I sit there and I do all of these negative behaviors that make me feel a little bit better, they make me feel a little bit better in a weird way, but yet, what do you think my brain's going to assume, right, chat? Now, understand this. Your brain only learns in one way, through behavior and memory. So if you do not create a positive memory for your brain while you are scared, your brain's going to continue to assume that you're in danger. It has watched you for the past year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever the case may be. It has watched you for all this time doing the same old crap. Every time this person is anxious, they get on Google. Every time this person is anxious, they hurry up and they grab their phone and they start chatting it up on the anxiety chats. Every time this person is anxious, they head to the bathroom and they hunker down in the shower, right? Every time this person is anxious, they go outside and they pace around the house. Every time this person is anxious, they do whatever it is they've been doing for all these years, right? They do whatever it is they've been doing for all these years. And the brain never gets a chance to say, well, they must be feeling better. The danger must be gone. Look at how they're acting now. The brain learns in one way, and that's through behavior and memory. And that's the reason that one of the million reasons why arguing with the thoughts is pointless anyway. We could go on and on and on about arguing with the thoughts or trying to fight the thoughts off isn't going to get you nowhere, and it's just going to fuel this entire cycle. We could go on and about that for days, and we have in the past. But let's just focus on that one reason today. It's pointless since the brain only learns through behavior and memory anyway. Okay? All this up here will take care of itself as soon as you begin to retrain the brain. And I know you can't glimpse that right now, but all of this will take care of itself. All you need to hold on to is the fact that the brain learns in one way, through behavior and memory. So trying to do anything up here is pointless and very, very stressful. Let's just have that as our one reason not to argue with thoughts today, right? Even though there's a million, that'll be our one for today. So if the brain only learns through behavior and memory, chat, and it sees you doing the same fearful coping methods and behaviors that you've been doing for the past week, month, or years, what do you think it's going to continue to assume? It is going to continue to assume that there must be a threat. Now, I know it's hard. I know it's not easy to get up every single day and behave and be the person you want to be despite feeling like crap. I know you feel like shit. I know you feel terrible. I know that this is, when you're down there in that spot of severe sensitization, I know that is a shitty feeling. But it is nowhere near as bad as your continued message that you're sending to the brain with the way that you are living. So here's the thing. People get really motivated sometimes. And they're like, you know what? Despite what my mind is saying, despite how I'm feeling in my body, if my brain only learns through behavior and memory, I'm going to show it today the person that I want to be. They get really motivated. They get out of bed. They change their habits around. They start living in a different way. They start letting go of even the little things that they used to do to try to calm their anxiety. They start living as the person they want to be, which is excellent. But here's what happens. Here's what happens. They might not get those immediate results, because brain learns through behavior and memory. Takes time to build this, takes time to retrain a brain. So when these people don't get these immediate results, and I used to be this way, I'm not throwing anybody under the bus, I used to be this way. When they don't get those immediate results, they go back to fighting with the thoughts. All right, well then I better solve these thoughts because they're not leaving me alone. They go back to fighting with the thoughts, which is pointless for many, many reasons, right? And they go back to the negative behaviors. They go back to that same old couch that's kept them prisoner for 2 years. They go back to the same old forms that they've read 100 times. They go back to the same old coping methods and behaviors in big or small ways that have kept them prisoner and that have kept their brain in a state of thinking that something is wrong for so long. I know it's tempting, and we talked about that yesterday. I know it's tempting to do this. I know when the anxiety is high, you want to go to your coping methods. I know when the anxiety is high, you want to go right back to that same old form. I know when the anxiety is high, you want to do everything but positive accepting behaviors. I get it. It feels like a leap of faith. All right. But at this point, you have to realize that you're a lot like a hamster in a hamster wheel. You have the advice. What is the advice? Let the mind say whatever the hell it wants to do so you can take that pressure off you. You don't have to do anything about any of this up here anymore. You just got to leave it alone. Okay? And then use positive accepting behaviors. Become, with your behaviors, the person you want to be, even in big or small ways. That means we go from brushing our teeth like this to brushing our teeth like this. Right? I'm not telling you to do the impossible. I don't want you to exert yourself until you're completely out of energy and hit the ground. Even though it might be tiring to do this, I don't want you to push it to the extreme. I'm not asking you to climb Mount Everest as a positive accepting behavior, okay? I'm telling you that cut your rituals out, cut your coping methods out, and behave like the person you want to be, and the brain will catch up. I'm not telling you to go to the extremes. I'm not telling you have to go until you drop and hit the floor. You can still lay in bed and kick your feet up and watch Netflix, but here's the difference. You're no longer laying in bed with the blanket over your head on an anxiety form. You're laying in bed with your feet up, sipping whatever soda you enjoy or bubbly water, watching Netflix. Okay, so there's a huge difference there. So you see when I say big or small ways, I even mean what you watch, what you lay in bed, how you lay in bed, right? So, again, I'm not asking you to do the impossible. I'm not asking you to exert yourself until you literally drop and go face first into the floor. I am asking you to live in such a way that you cut out your little rituals, whatever they might be, little rituals, big rituals, okay? And that when the anxiety is turned on, because that's when it's most important. I'm not telling you that you have to act like this this great amazing feeling person all the time 24/7, right? Like I said, to completely exert yourself. I'm asking you that when the anxiety is turned on, because that is when it's most important, to behave like the person you wish to feel like, right? So that means getting rid of the little rituals, getting rid of the little coping methods. Okay, so I know that even though I say I'm not asking you to do the impossible, that it might feel like I'm asking you to do the impossible. I know you are so tempted in those moments. I know that you want to live today like you've lived every other day in the past. I know that you want to live today with your rituals. I know that you want to live today with your coping methods. I know that when you feel bad, you want to go sit and lay down and put the blanket over your head and get on your favorite anxiety form because that brings you a little bit of comfort. I know that you want to do all these things because I did too. And guess what? I did them for a very long time. I did them for a very long time. And you know where I got? Nowhere. You know where I got? Nowhere. You know where recovery started to happen for me? When I let the mind say whatever the mind wanted to say. I took the stress off myself of doing anything about this up here and focused completely on retraining my brain. And so the very next day, instead of sitting around doing the same shit I had done for months and months and months on end, I got up and I did something different. It wasn't much. We talked about this the other day in a stream. It wasn't much. All I did was go next door to a roommate that I had at the time and watched him play a video game and tried my best to talk to him about the video game he was playing, even though all I wanted to do was turn around, run back to my room, and get under my blanket. So it wasn't much. I'm not asking you to do the impossible, okay? Even though I know it might feel like I'm asking you to do the impossible. I get it. We will get this motivation going. We will get this confidence going. But what you have to realize is that if you want results, it takes consistency. It takes dedication. You can't have a day where you go for 6 hours doing all these positive, great things, which is a great start, but you can't do that and then turn around and the next 2 days be filled with rituals, coping methods, and very negative behaviors. It just can't happen. Now, I know you feel like crap. I know you feel like shit. That's why the title of this stream says, I know you're scared. I know how it feels to be there, right? I know you want to just live life like you've been living life because at least that's comfortable. You might feel like shit, right? But at least your old coping methods and your negative behaviors and your rituals that you do every single day, at least that's known, right? At least that's not unknown. At least that's comfortable. You'll get by. That's what you convince yourself of. I know you want nothing more to continue to live the way you're living because it's what you're used to, right? And the thought of letting your thoughts be without fighting them off and using positive accepting behaviors, right? Instead of using all these negative fearful behaviors. The thought of that seems like a lot of work. I know all of this because I've been there. I've lived it. I've experienced it. But I'm here to tell you that your recovery is not on that couch that you've been on for the past 2 years, on that same form that you've been on for the past 2 years. If you want your brain to learn, if you want your brain to set your anxiety levels lower, your recovery is not on that couch. Your recovery is in the kitchen doing the dishes while you sing your favorite song to the top of your lungs. Your recovery, okay, is not on that couch, right? So again, I'm not asking you to do the impossible even though it may seem like I am. I'm simply asking you to cut out your rituals, to allow your thoughts to go, don't fight with them, you're just fueling them, and to understand that your brain learns through behavior and memory. And even though you feel like shit, and I know you do, and I sympathize with you, I understand, I completely get it, understand that your recovery, okay, lies on the other side of all of these negative habits that you've had for so long. Figure out what your negative habits are. Figure out what you do to try to comfort yourself when the anxiety is around. And instead, just behave like the person you want to feel like, right? And watch what happens in time. Watch what happens in time. Your brain has access. It sees what you see. It hears what you see. It's watching how you react to the alarm that it has wrongly set too high. And if you want that alarm to come down, then you need to show it that it doesn't need to be there. So let's go back to the caveman days. If there was a real danger present to my life and anxiety jumped in to try to save my life, how would I act? I would try to do whatever I could against this danger. Here's the problem. Anxiety, your brain has the anxiety level set way up here. but there's actually no danger outside of your little caveman cave, right? There's actually no danger lurking around, but you are behaving like there is. You are acting like there is. You're staying quiet. You're staying defeated. You're staying with this terrible posture. You're staying to yourself. You're cutting out all your old hobbies. You're not asserting yourself, right? So what do you think the brain's going to assume? If the brain is still back in the caveman day, what is it going to assume, chat? It's going to assume that you're in your little cave, hunker down in the corner because that danger does exist. So what does the brain do at that point? The brain says, you know what? I'm going to do my job. Keep those anxiety levels high because look at how they're living, right? So there must be a real danger. Look at how they give in to their coping methods and their rituals. There must be a real danger. They're doing all these things to try to protect themselves. There must be a real danger. Look at how quiet they are. Look at how non-assertive they are. Look at how they're not doing the things they used to enjoy. Because the brain runs off memory. The brain is going, 6 months ago or a year ago or 2 years ago when they felt great, they were doing this thing and they were listening to music. And I remember they used to do this crazy thing where they would dance, right? They're no longer doing that. They're no longer doing that. So the brain goes, okay. Well, if they're no longer doing that or that, they're not listening to that thing they used to listen to. They're not moving their body the way they used to move it. They're not kicking their feet up the way they used to keep their feet up. Look at how they're acting these days. So the brain scratches its head and goes, this danger must be real. This danger must still be around, right? There you go. That's the cycle. Now, we're going to end the main point of today's stream with one quote that I found yesterday from one of my favorite blog posts. You guys already know what it is. Nothingworks.weebly. Let's see. Favorite one here. I think I posted it actually on the Facebook page. One second. Let's get it pulled up. This is what we're going to end this motivation stream with here. All right. All right, here we go. Okay, the cure is when our fight or flight response is switched off because we have demonstrated that there is no actual danger. So we have demonstrated that there is no actual danger. Fear stays with us as long as we succumb to our compulsion rituals, okay? Compulsion is not just continuously washing your hands or disaffecting doorknobs. It is reading constantly about anxiety. It's constantly asking for help. It's constantly searching for the exit. In a nutshell, anything that we constantly do to provide temporary anxiety relief is a compulsion. A compulsion is a feeling we get when we want to hide from the fear by performing an avoidance action. Compulsions are actions we perform because we don't understand the rules of the game. We are compelled to solve the issue because we think there is a problem. We perform ritual after ritual. We succumb to compulsion after compulsion in an attempt to alleviate the condition. Although these actions have the effect of providing temporary relief, they are in essence the major artifacts that are responsible for holding back recovery. If we stop trying to hold back the anxiety and instead accept the anxiety, then the anxiety will shrink and the disorder will be removed in due course, right? So let's read another one here. I got one more for you. Now, if anybody wants to read this article, I'll give you a pass on that. I'll allow you to read this article without saying that it's some sort of ritual. Okay, I'll give you that. Let me drop the link to it. But be aware, it is a very long read. I'm actually honored because I was mentioned in this website. I'm so honored. Toot my own horn there for a minute. A very long read, but a very good one. So if you're going to read something about your anxiety, make it this. Learn it like the back of your hand and then leave it alone. Leave it alone, right? So, all right, I'm going to drop the link to that. Here we go, right there if you want to check out that article. But honestly, don't convince yourself that you have to read the whole thing in order to recover. Everything that I just said is all that you truly need. Okay, but let's read this one. All you have to do is fool it. And it's talking about your brain. All you have to do is fool it. In fact, you've been fooling it all along. Fooling it into calculating that there is something wrong. It's time to show it the truth, that there is nothing medically wrong with you. When you get an energy surge, your limbic system will watch your reaction. If it sees you running, hiding, asking for help, reading desperately about your condition, then it will see something is wrong and keep your energy level high. Okay? Of course, there is nothing wrong with asking for help or balanced research, but you will find that you need assistance less and less as time advances. So, again, if you pretend that all is well as, for example, slowly doing the dishes, cooking a meal, watching a movie, calmly walking, then it will automatically set the energy level lower. So you can see there's a ton of examples, okay? The more you do this, the calmer you get, and you will enter into a positive feedback relaxation mindset. The brain then slowly starts deleting the energy surge pathways and writing new calm pathways, right? So there you go, retraining the brain 101. All right, you guys. So that was the main point of today's stream. If you need some motivation, there you go. I hope that is your motivation right there. I know you're scared. I know you feel like crap. I'm not trying to underline that at all, okay? I'm not trying to throw you under the bus. I'm not trying to say you don't feel these ways, all right? All right? I'm not trying to say you don't feel these ways, but there you go. That is how you retrain the brain. And we're going to get to now the post stream, where we take questions, hang out, and relax with chat. You are in Nothing Works. Yes, I am mentioned at the bottom of the page somewhere. I don't exactly know where, but I believe it's at the bottom of the page somewhere. I believe it is. Let me see. Ba, 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 ba. All right. Ugh. That was beautiful timing. Yeah, I actually got the privilege of speaking to the Arthur, author. Sorry, Arthur's an old cartoon. Behind that blog post. Was a huge honor because that is very, very well written post, very, very well written. Like I said, it is kind of lengthy because he goes over literally everything. Okay, and keep in mind that if you are going to read that, there might be some things in there that wouldn't quite personally word the way that he words it, and that's fine because everyone's individual, right? Everyone has a certain way of wording things. Um, so if you are going to take on the task of reading that entire thing, understand that there is a possibility your brain might go, well, Wonder Bro wouldn't word it like this. Why is this guy wording it like this? Or why does Wonder Bro word it like this and not like this guy, right? Understand that we're both individuals. We have different ways of wording things. Do not let this overcomplicate your recovery, all right? The advice remains the same at the end of the day. Retrain the brain. So do not, if you're going to read this, do not allow that to happen to you. Do not allow that to happen to you. And also, it's important to understand you don't have to read this whole thing. Everything that I just said in the stream about positive accepting behaviors, that's how you retrain your brain. You literally do not have to read this if you do not want to read this. It is a very, very long read. It's awesome, but it's very, very long, and you're not going to find anything that I haven't already covered. So if you're looking to hear that magical phrase or hear that one line that's just going to magically cure you, that's not going to happen. You still have to absolutely put in the work to retrain your brain. So please do not fall into the trick of thinking, oh, well, I'm going to find something in this article that's going to do the work for me. You're not. You have to do everything that I just said, right? If you really want to dedicate to that, if this is the path that you want to go. So don't fall into that trap either. Don't fall into that trap either, because if you do, you're just going to spend about an hour or two reading this entire article, and you're going to come out of it with nothing exactly new, and you're just going to have the work that you still need to do, right? So if you want to read it out of genuine interest, then be my guest. It's an excellent article. But if you want to read it to try to find a magical phrase that's going to do the retraining for you, it's simply not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You're going to waste 2 hours of your time. So, with that being said, all right, it's up to you guys if you want to read that or not. I can't see the link. Let me drop it again. Let me drop it again for you real quick. There's Samantha. Keep those things in mind, though, guys. You're not going to find a magical phrase. You still got to do the retraining work. Don't waste your time if that's what you're going to read it for or try to read it for. Also, me and him, we don't exactly word things the same way all the time, but the same message is, it's still the same message. You have a brain that needs to be retrained. Two things I want you to keep in mind there. And also, lastly, like I said, you don't even have to read it if you don't want to. Everything I just said is all that you truly need to know anyway. Got to give some disclaimers there, right? Got to give some disclaimers there. So I want to hear chat, right? Every now and then I do these little questionnaires. I want to hear from you, chat. I want to hear from you. After watching today's stream, right? And don't be shy. After watching today's stream, what are you going to do today that's a bit different? How are you going to shake things up today to show your brain that everything is okay? What do you normally do that today you're not going to do? Instead, you're going to do something different to show your brain that everything is okay. Now that you know that the brain learns from behavior and memory, all right? So, despite feeling like crap, what are you going to do today that's a little bit different? And this could be big or small ways. Big or small ways. Today, instead of reading anxiety forums, I'm going to watch a funny movie. There you go. That's a small example. So, with that in mind, understanding that there's millions of different examples, millions, the possibilities are endless on the ways that you can positively retrain your brain. What are you going to do today, chat? What are you personally going to do today? Let's hear it. I like to hear from my chat. Let's hear it. We'll give everybody some time to answer that question. We'll give everybody a little bit of time to answer that question. Where'd my phone go, chat? I've lost my phone. No, I haven't. I've got it. I got it. Again, I couldn't really stop myself mid rant. But again, Mary, thank you so much for the tip. Thank you, thank you. That is lovely. Thank you, thank you. Come on, chat. Let's hear it. Let's hear what you're gonna. Let's hear what you got from all of that today. Let's hear what you're gonna do different today, and hopefully continue to do every day. Because as I said at the beginning of the stream, don't forget, we lose motivation when we don't get instant results. But understand it takes time for memory, keyword memory, there to take place. Make myself pick up an old hobby that I quit. Awesome, awesome. Working on a new hobby today. That's great, guys. That's great. Keep in mind, like I said, I'm not asking anybody to exert themselves to an extreme amount. I'm not asking you to do positive accepting behaviors until you hit the floor, right? You don't have to jam pack your day full of crap, right? A positive accepting behavior can be a simple change like this, for example. Instead of reading that same form that I'm used to reading today, that I've read every day for the past year, instead of doing that today, I'm going to watch a funny video on YouTube about a monkey or something. Okay? The list of possible examples goes on and on. It can even be something as small as wearing a smile more often. All right? And now some people say, well, isn't that a fake behavior? You're not faking it. If you were feeling grumpy but instead you decided to be kind, would somebody come up to you and say that that's fake kindness? No, they wouldn't. Because that's unheard of and that's ridiculous. Nobody would say, "Hey, you're feeling grumpy today and you did a kind act. Therefore that's fake kindness." So if you're feeling fearful today, but instead do a positive act, nobody's going to come up to you and say, "Hey, you're feeling fearful today, but you did a positive act." That's fake positivity. That's ridiculous. So the whole "I feel like I'm faking it" thing, you can throw that out the window. You can absolutely throw that out the window. You could absolutely 110% throw that out the window. Now, with all that being said, the choices that you make and the changes that you make to your daily behaviors and lives is ultimately going to be up to you, right? It's ultimately going to be up to you. Nobody is forcing you to do this. You can stay the way that you are if you would like. Nobody is making you do this. And I'm not ridiculing you. I'm honestly telling you that this has to be a personal decision. Do not let anybody say, "Oh, well, you have to do this or you have to do that." This has got to be a choice that you've got to make for yourself. And the reason I point that out is if we're doing this because of this reason or that reason, and we're not doing this because we want this, right? It's a little bit harder to get motivated. So when I tell you that you've got to make the choice for yourself, that's the only reason I'm telling you that. Because you really deep down in your heart got to make that choice for yourself, right? You've really deep down in your heart got to make that choice for yourself. And that's the only reason I'm bringing that up and saying that after you heard what you just heard, it's now up to you what you do with that. It's completely up to you. I think more people are in their heads due to the whole COVID situation. However, that's okay because a brain still learns from behavior and memory. So just because there's a certain life situation like the pandemic going around right now, that doesn't mean we still can't retrain our brain. And that's the beautiful thing about a brain. If a brain learns from behavior and memory, then regardless of what's actually going on, right, there's still many things that we can do to retrain a brain, right? No matter what our current situation is. Because sometimes, let's face it, situations are just not desirable. Sometimes situations are just not quote unquote perfect recovery conditions, but most of us are not going to have the perfect recovery conditions. And the same applies for this whole COVID thing, right? But that's okay because with the brain still learning from behavior and memory, we can still retrain our brain regardless. We can absolutely still retrain our brain regardless. I forgot to update the tip goal. Thank you so much again, Mary. I don't even know if you're still in here, but I forgot to update that. Thank you so much for breaking that tip goal. Appreciate it. And that you guys know that I get inspiration from several places, including my own journey, obviously. Um, Teddy, wow. Okay, Teddy. Teddy, thank you so much. Guys, I still haven't set up the audio input capture, so you can't hear the music. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting. Teddy, thank you so much for another $40 tip. So, Teddy and Mary, wow, guys, thank you so much. This is called Brain. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that word because I can't, but I know what you're talking about. Thank you so much, Teddy and Mary. Can we give them a round of applause in the chat today? Holy crap, that's huge. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Can we spam the chat for a bit and show Mary and Ted how thankful we are? Can we get some hashtag Marys and hashtag Teds in the chat, please? We should always let our tippers know how grateful we are for them. They are the reason and that I'm able to be here. Sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied. They are the reason I'm able to be here full time almost every single day, right? And if it wasn't for them, I'd have to, you know, balance my life a little bit more and probably go back to frying fish in order to make a living. So I would not be able to be here on the channel as often as I am now if it wasn't for our generous tippers. So thank you guys so much for keeping me afloat and ultimately keeping the channel afloat. I really, really appreciate it, allowing me to put all of my effort and all of my time into what I do. Thank you so much, guys. Let's show them some love in the chat. As I was saying, as I was saying, okay, I get I get inspiration from multiple sources, including my own journey, right? But I was about to make a comparison. So Dr. Claire Weeks, she talks about second fear. What is second fear? It's reacting negatively to your thoughts and feelings. It's getting involved, right? And Nothing Works. Weebly talks about how you train your brain through behavior and memory. It's more or less the same thing. Don't get confused. Dr. Claire Weeks says don't add second fear and instead float through your feelings. So that would be the same thing as saying don't react negatively to your feelings and just get on with your life. Dr. Claire Weeks says that if your legs shake, they can still get you from point A to point B, right? Nothing Works. Weebly says that you should still live your life and do the things that you enjoy doing, right? So in this way, they are more or less the same thing. I don't want anyone to get confused and think, well, sometimes he talks about Dr. Claire Weeks and sometimes he talks about Nothing Works. Weebly. But do you understand how not adding second fear, which is simply not reacting negatively to your thoughts and feelings and instead just living your life, do you see how that's the same thing as what Nothing Works. Weebly says when they say positive accepting behaviors? Do you see how that's the same thing as what I say when I say leave your thoughts alone, accept your feelings, and live your life, right? Do you see how it all comes full circle no matter how you word it? No matter if you word it in Dr. Claire Weeks' perspective, or you word it in Nothing Works. Weebly, or if you word it in the two main keys, do you see how it always comes full circle anyway? It's the same thing, right? It's the same exact thing. You're retraining a brain with positive accepting behaviors. No matter who you reference, it is the same thing. No matter who you reference, it is the same thing. So don't get confused, guys. Don't get confused. I know how sensitized people tend to overthink things, right? I get it. I was that person. I was that person. Yeah, thanks to the guys who give the tips. I really appreciate it. Like I said, you guys enabled me to be able to focus on this full time instead of having to find other means for survival and then only get to do this in my free time. Um, with the support of you guys, I'm able to do this all the time. I'm able to put my full focus on this, so I appreciate it. I appreciate it dearly. I do, and it helps everybody out, so it's awesome. I would do what I do regardless. I just wouldn't be able to put as much time into it if I had to find other means for survival. So I think you guys get what I'm saying there. Wonder Bro, can you explain to me the sentence? I am from Germany. All curative methods, be they CBT, LEP, hypnosis, fitness, meditation, medication, yoga, distraction, acceptance, desire, sheer bloody mindfulness, are only the catalysts that enable doing nothing about it, the real cure mechanism to work its magic in the background. Yeah, so basically what that sentence is saying there, that no matter which way you come at the whole anxiety recovery thing, whether you're using hypnosis or fitness or yoga or acceptance or distraction, right? Basically, what it's saying there is that the end goal is always the same, which is leaving it alone. Okay, the real cure, it says in quotes there, the real cure is doing nothing about it. So basically, all it's saying is that no matter what label you put on it, whether you want to call it acceptance, whether you want to call it yoga, whether you want to call it distraction, whether you want to call it desire or sheer bloody mindedness, okay, basically all it's trying to say is that at the end of the day, the real cure is leaving it alone. The real cure is no second fear. The real cure is retraining your brain. So it would be like saying, um, we hand someone a sugar pill. I don't know if you've ever heard that analogy. We give someone a sugar pill and we tell them that this pill will cure their anxiety and their fear. They take it and they honestly believe that their anxiety and fear will be cured. Therefore, they go on about living their normal everyday life, knowing that this sugar pill, they don't know it's a sugar pill, is eventually going to cure their anxiety. So, therefore, they stop fighting with their thoughts and therefore they just live their life and they get back into their old negative, or their old positive, rather, sorry, their old positive behaviors because they know they're going to be cured, right? And therefore they cure. Even though they just took a sugar pill, they started doing nothing. They started doing nothing about the anxiety, rather. They started leaving the thoughts alone and they started just living their life, and therefore they retrain their brain. So all that's saying there is that no matter what label you put on it, the real cure is retraining your brain by not reacting to the anxiety and the thoughts, right? And by showing your brain there's no real danger. That's all that's trying to say there. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you so much for that nice comment. Hey, I'm right there with you. We support one another. Brain only language it understands is our behavior. Yeah, exactly. Which is what that quote is trying to say, that no matter what way you approach this or what label you put on it, as the real cure is doing nothing. The real cure is doing nothing about the thoughts and the feelings and just living your life so that your brain can see that there's no real danger. And that's all that quote is trying to say there. So again, you're right. Brain only understands one language, which is behaviors. So again, guys, if you're going to read the Nothing Works Weebly article, understand that there's nothing you don't already know. Right? That's huge. I don't want anyone reading it and then overthinking it. There's literally nothing you don't already know. If you know that the brain only learns through behaviors, so you might as well leave the thoughts alone and prove to your brain that there's no real danger. If you know that little sentence right there, you're good. Get started. Right? You're good. Get started. Leave the thoughts alone. Leave the feelings alone. Live your life. You're good. Get started. Leave the thoughts alone because fighting with them is pointless. Your brain only learns through behaviors anyway. Bada bing, bada boom, right? I haven't in a while, Cassie. It's something I do every now and then. Coaching is something I do every now and then, but it's it's not something I do every single day or anything like that. I'm normally just here on the channel mostly. What's up, Gabe? I always call Gabe because I don't know how to pronounce his first name. He's been here for about 2 years, mind you. I still don't know how to pronounce his first name. He's told me about a million times, so I still don't. Still don't get it. Have suffered with a severe anxiety for nearly 30 years, and only listening to this channel and trying to live by the two main keys has uh, given me relief. Don't go down the rabbit hole, people. Yeah. So arguing with the thoughts is pointless. Just remind yourself of that, since the brain only learns through behaviors anyway. What are you going to gain from arguing with the thoughts? What are you going to gain from that if the brain only learns anxiety-wise through your behaviors anyway? What are you going to gain from that? What are you going to gain from that? It's how is it? I'm gonna get this one day, bro. Is it Bo? Bew. Bubo. Boo. I'm such an idiot. It's Bo, right? Bew. I wish I had a unique name like that. I got the most overused name in the world. In fact, the guy who wrote Nothing.Weebly, who wrote that article, I'm pretty sure his name is Chris too. Don't quote me on that, but I'm like 90% sure his name's Chris too. Go figure. Bo, are you? No, is it actually Bo? I'm so confused, guys. It's okay, Shay. No problem. I don't ignore comments on purpose. Sometimes I literally just miss them, and then other times I realize that maybe somebody is just overthinking a certain question way too much, and that it really doesn't need an answer. And then there's other times where, with your question, it's just a can of worms that we don't really open around here because we're here for a different reason. So it's nothing personal. If I don't read your comment, it's nothing personal. It's really not. Don't worry about it. If your comment doesn't get read, it's not for any personal reasons. I've either completely missed it and don't realize that I've missed it, or it's just a question that I can't answer here because we're here for a different reason, if that makes sense. So it's never a personal reason if you don't get your comment read. So it's Bo, right? Can someone confirm that? Bo, correct? What's up, Xavier? How you been, dude? I hope you've been well. Hashtag Mary, hashtag Ted. Yeah, exactly. Thank you guys so much for your generous tips today. I truly appreciate it. What's up, Arnold? No, Simon. Just because you're having feeling physical symptoms does not mean you're adding second fear, right? Because you can't control the physical symptoms that come from a tired nervous system. So that would be like saying, "Oh, I can't control the physical symptoms of a tired nervous system. I'm to blame for that." You're not to blame for that. Second fear is how you react to those physical symptoms. So even though you had a day that where you had a panic attack and your heart rate was high, was you still going on about your day to the best of your ability? Was you trying not to react to it? Was you just putting on a smile and doing the things you needed to do, showing your brain with positive accepting behaviors and carrying on despite the fear that there's no real danger, right? If you did that, then you're doing fine. You're doing absolutely fine. In fact, that's what needs to happen. You need to feel these feelings because that's when the brain is going to learn when the anxiety is turned on, right? Just waiting for the Chiefs to take the Super Bowl. Who are the Chiefs playing? I don't even know. I know that sounds weird for me. I normally am a pretty big football guy. In fact, I'm sitting here in a Denver t-shirt right now. But honestly, I just haven't watched much football this year. I can't at the moment. I can't at the moment. My dad was a huge football fan, and with his recent passing, I don't know, man. I just can't get into it right now. But I still watch it from time to time, just not like I used to. I'll get back into it next year. Just a little bit too raw this year. Wait, Chiefs and the what? Let me see. Chiefs and the Bucks, dude. Okay. Chiefs and the Bucks. All right, that's interesting. Okay. I like how it's basically like have you guys seen that meme going around? It's like Tom Brady and it's like, "Oh, pick a random team." And then he's signed to a random team and he's like, "Hey, y'all want to go to the Super Bowl?" "Hey, y'all want to go to the Super Bowl this year?" "Nah." Like, "Yeah, nah. I can take you. I can take you to the Super Bowl." "Yeah, sure, no problem. I'll take the Bucks to the Super Bowl. No problem. You got it. No problem." No problem. That is gonna be a hell of a game. That is gonna be a hell of a game. Tom Brady, okay. Oof. I don't know. Tom Brady and Mahomes. Mm, mm, that's gonna be something. If you want me to be honest with you, I think Mahomes can do it. But see, this is going to be a game all about defense, right? Because you've got Tom Brady and you've got Mahomes. These are both two great quarterbacks. Obviously, this is going to all come down to defense, as most games do. This is all going to come down to defense because you know you've got two great quarterbacks. Leanne, I hope that's how you pronounce your name. I believe you went directly through the PayPal, which is fine. No problem there. Let's see. Let me pull it up. Leanne with the $12 tip says, I appreciate and respect and I'm so grateful to you for helping me with your lives and videos on YouTube. Your lives. I only discovered you a few days ago, but you have helped me massively already. Let's see if there's any more to that. Was that the whole tip note? You're a gem. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Can we give her a round of applause in the chat, please? Pretty please. Thank you so much for that, Leanne. I appreciate you. Wow, you guys have destroyed the tip goal today. I don't even know what to say about that. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much. Leanne, Teddy, who else was it? Mary, thank you guys so much. I truly appreciate you. Round of applause for all of our generous tippers today. Watching the Super Bowl is a very positive behavior. It is. And like I said, dude, it's really going to come down to defense. I mean, Mahomes has no problem as quarterback, obviously. Tom Brady sure as shit don't have any problems as quarterback. Uh, Scoring points, throwing the ball, this is not a problem for either team. So it's really going to come down to defense. Who can stop who? The problem is it's hard to stop Tom Brady. It's very, very difficult to stop Tom Brady, but at the same time, it's also pretty damn difficult to stop Mahomes. So I really have no clue what the hell's going to happen. And there's my professional point of view on that. I'm not a professional. Not on football. I love football, but I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not a professional by any means. I suck at predicting games. Who has the better defense, chat? Chiefs or Bucks? I don't even know. Chiefs or Bucks? I haven't kept up with it. It's already getting dark outside. Seriously? Both defenses are solid. All right, so I don't know, man. I gotta. Okay, if I have to make a prediction, let's make a prediction. Uh, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say the Bucks are gonna win it. I mean, I have to say the Bucks are gonna win it. I can't. It's really, really hard to go against Tom Brady. $10 tip from Samantha. Samantha, thank you so much for the $10 tip. Wow, you guys. Holy shit. What does that put us at? Can we get some love in the chat for Samantha, please? Please, please, please. Wow, you guys have absolutely demolished the tip goal today. Seriously, thank you guys so much. That's huge. I don't even know what to say besides thank you. Thank you, seriously. Samantha, Teddy, Mary, Leanne, let's show these guys some love in the chat, please. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you, thank you, thank you. Watching sports is good and fun when your team is winning. Either way, not. As a German, I don't know nothing about football. It's all right, dude. I like football. I used to watch it all the time, but I'm not obsessed with it or anything. My favorite team sucks. My favorite team, I believe, won only one game this year. So there you go. So there you go. My favorite team won one game this year, but I still support them. I still support them, even though they suck. Whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna give it to the Buccaneers this year because it's just so hard to bet against Tom Brady. Like I can't. You can't really go against Tom Brady. I mean, it's hard to do that. Make it rain, Samantha. Is feeling depressed part of the recovery? You can feel drained. You can absolutely feel drained. Yes. Because after all, you're using these positive accepting behaviors or getting on with life, and this is not exactly something that just is takes no energy, right? It does take some energy. It does take some energy to do this. So you can feel drained, and these feelings of feeling drained and tired, they can feel a bit like depression, but there's really no need to label it. In my opinion, there's really no need to label it. You got to understand, your body's been through a lot, man. Your body has been through a lot, right? Arlene, which I hope I said your name right. I'm very bad with names. What's up, Wayne? My heartfelt thank you for your kindness sending donation. Now, you don't have to do that. Thank you guys so much. I truly appreciate you guys. Wow. You guys have destroyed the tip goal today. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys take something from this stream, most importantly. I hope you guys take something from this stream and start living today in little or small ways. Like I said, I'm not asking you to do the impossible or exert yourself until you fall face first on the floor. I'm simply asking you to try to cut back on some of those rituals, compulsions, and coping methods and start to show your brain with your behaviors in big or small ways that this anxiety isn't needed. So I hope you take that from the stream. But thank you guys so much for all of your tips today. That is amazing. Thank you. I truly appreciate it. He still probably has heard of Tom Brady even in Germany. Probably. It's hard to bet against Tom Brady, man. It's really hard to bet against Tom Brady. Moji is awesome, yes. Moji talks a lot about just being the observer, letting these thoughts and feelings come and go, which is what we're talking about, and getting on with life. I mean, he might not focus on positive behaviors. He's not exactly talking about how to retrain a sensitized brain, but it's more or less the same, right? Did someone watch wrestling? Who watched the Royal Rumble? I used to watch wrestling, but it's been a long time ago. Like back in the Attitude era when they had Stone Cold Steve Austin. Hell yeah, dude. That's when it was good in my opinion. I don't know. It might still be good now, but I haven't watched it in a very long time. I haven't watched it in a very, very long time. When it comes to that question, which I do get asked that question a lot, what do I do about anxiety while driving? Feels like I'm going to pass out. I get asked that question a lot, so I will say first and foremost, you're not alone there. Secondly, I will say I cannot advise somebody to do something and then they wreck their vehicle. I can't be held responsible for that. So what I will tell you is that if you're dealing with anxiety and panic and you have been cleared by a doctor and you're trying to retrain your brain, the two main keys all the way. Now, if you feel like you cannot safely operate your vehicle, of course, I cannot tell you out of good conscience to continue to drive your vehicle, obviously. So that is a very tricky question for me to answer. So I will say it like this. If you feel like you cannot safely drive your vehicle, do not drive your vehicle. But at the same time, The two main keys. So really, this is going to have to be a question that I simply cannot dive that deep into, and I apologize for that. Continue to retrain your brain at home, wherever you are, when you're not driving your vehicle. As soon as you start to retrain that brain and those anxiety symptoms start to fade, you will soon see that driving your vehicle becomes much easier because the symptoms are fading as a result. Does that make sense? So, if you're healing 24/7, if you're putting in the work with the positive accepting behaviors, leaving those thoughts alone, and showing your brain that there's no real danger, the anxiety symptoms will start to fade as a result, making driving your car much easier for you to do. That is the best way for me to put that. Dude, you're killing it with the tips today. You guys are killing it with the tips today. If it wasn't for you guys, I appreciate it. I really, really, really do. I really, really, really do. Royal Rumble was good, but I wasn't able to watch it when I watch something. It always shit. It's always shit. Yeah, I haven't personally watched wrestling in a very long time. I used to like it though. I used to love it. I'm late again. Hey Wonder Bro, what's up, Danny? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good day. Hope you're having a good day. Getting scared and I start seeing stars will pull over before anything happens. Yeah. See, I can't sit here and say, "Oh, well, you need to show your brain that there's no real danger. Just keep driving your car and then something happens and then I'm held responsible for that." I would feel horrible if that were to happen. Therefore, I'm not going to tell you that. But what I will tell you is, okay, two main keys, you start to retrain your brain every single day, whether you're driving your car or not. You start to use the two main keys, and that should make driving your car obviously a lot easier to do because you're starting to enter into a calmer brain. You're starting to enter into a calmer brain, a more calm nervous system. Therefore, the symptoms of anxiety are starting to fade. So if you feel like you can't safely drive your car, I'm not going to tell you to try to attempt to drive your car. I don't want that on my conscience. So if you feel like you cannot safely drive your car, do not drive your car. However, start to use the two main keys, start to heal your brain, start to heal your nervous system, and those anxiety symptoms will start to fade as a result. And then you'll be able to do things like drive your car, for example, without any problem. That is how I will put that. You have to show your brain there is no danger by not fearing the fear. It took me months to get this down, but it actually works. So if you would like to share with the chat, the person who just made that comment. If you would like to share with the chat what you mean by show your brain there is no danger, if you'd like to give the chat some examples of that from your personal experience, please feel free to do so. I love it when this happens because it really does help motivate others. So they say the two main keys actually work. In order to heal, you have to show your brain there is no danger, right? By not fearing the fear. So when he says not fearing the fear, simply means not reacting to it in a negative behavioral way, right? Took a few months to get down, but this actually works. Trying to send donation. It's no problem if you can't get it to go through. If you're having like difficulties on your end, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We've got more than enough tips today, so you do not have to fret over that. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's no big deal. I'm having a really good day with very little anxiety lately. That is awesome, Danny. Yeah, guys, feel free to share with the chat, the little changes that you made in your behaviors to retrain your brain. It helps people to get motivated. They hear it from more than just me, and it really does help motivate other people. And that's why I'm so thankful when we have people that start to feel better from using the advice that come in here and they spread that motivation. They don't have to do that. They can simply move on with their lives. They're feeling better, but yet they still come in here and they still spread that motivation. And that is awesome. That is very generous of you. And then again, at the same time, if you heal and never want to come back, that's fine too. That's fine too. That is absolutely fine too. Guys, I recommend, I can't obviously post pictures in the chat, but I recommend you do follow me over on Facebook, Vacate Fear, because I shared those quotes from earlier about how, your brain is watching, your limbic system watches to see if the danger is real. Depending on what you do or how you act at that point, it will start to make assumptions, right? And I posted those on the Vacate Fear Facebook page if you want to read them. You don't have to. Hearing those words is enough, but if you do want to go read those, you can. I'm going to drop the link to that right now. Drop the link to that right now. Remember, guys, the brain learns in one way through behavior and memory. Through behavior and memory. So you got to show it that there is nothing to be afraid of, and that's one of the many reasons why arguing with your thoughts is pointless anyway, because the brain only learns through behavior and memory. Yeah, fighting with the thoughts. The thing is, PJ, you got to let those thoughts do whatever they want to do, and you just need to remind yourself that fighting with the thoughts is pointless because the brain only learns through behavior and memory anyway. So what are you going to gain from fighting with the thoughts? So next time you're fighting with your thoughts, instead of using positive accepting behaviors, just remind yourself, even if I fight with these thoughts until they're dead, what's that going to accomplish? My brain only learns through behavior and memory anyway. So fighting with these thoughts, completely pointless. Completely pointless. If I want to train my brain to not sound the alarm over these thoughts, then the only way it learns is through behavior and memory. So let the thoughts do whatever they want. It's completely pointless. And just use those positive accepting behaviors. Embody the person you want to be with those positive accepting behaviors, even though you feel like crap. Had to stand up and get a drink of water. Starting to get a little bit of dry mouth. Oh man, it's getting chilly in here. I'm gonna have to turn on a heater. Bad days are absolutely normal during recovery, and in fact, all right, in fact, you should embrace the bad days. Why? Why? You guys should know the answer to this. Why should you embrace your bad days? In fact, I'm not even going to answer that just yet. I'm going to see if chat can get the answer to that. So, Simon says, I think bad days are a normal part of recovery. Why should you be thankful and grateful for bad days? Why do you need bad days? Does anybody in chat know the answer to that? Why do you need bad days? Why should you embrace bad days, and why should you be thankful for quote-unquote bad days? Anybody in chat know the answer to that? I know you guys do. PJ got it. PJ got it. PJ's our winner today. PJ says because the brain learns when the anxiety is turned on. Exactly. There you go. Boom. That's it. That's why you should be thankful for bad days. In fact, you need those because that's when the brain's going to learn the most. So if you have positive accepting behaviors on your bad days, that's when you're doing the most retraining. You might be filled with fear, Simon, but as long as you're showing with your behaviors, wearing a smile, for example, allowing the thoughts to be, allowing the feelings to be, and simply not using coping methods or rituals, and just showing your brain with positive accepting behaviors, singing your favorite song, listening to your favorite song, watching something funny, talking to your friend online, whatever the case may be, as long as you're using positive accepting behaviors, you can feel as much fear as you want to feel. The brain is learning. The brain only learns through behavior and memory. You show it what it wants to see and it'll back off. But if you continue to hunker over and do all these negative behaviors and coping methods, it's, which could be big or small, reading a form, okay, going outside, pacing around, sitting in the same bed all day long, whatever the case may be, all right, the brain is watching. So the brain is watching. Is it so you can become a bad mamma jamma? You could put it that way. On bad days, the limbic system learns the most. Absolutely, by watching your behaviors, because you cannot tell the amygdala to calm down. You have to show it. So you behave how you want to feel, and you'll start to naturally feel that way. It's a beautiful thing. I'm not asking you to do the impossible or exert yourself. I'm simply asking you to start to show the brain in little or small ways that the anxiety isn't needed. You must show the brain there is no danger. And the brain only learns through your behaviors, right? Not reacting, getting on with life, living life, big or small ways. I have many fears, have been accepting the fear of going crazy is not avoiding silence because I was afraid of hearing things. Also not constantly checking how I feel. Yeah, dropping all these rituals, right? Wow, we just got another $50 tip, guys. Another $50 tip from Arlene says, what does it say? My heartfelt thank you. Thank you so much for that. Wow. You guys have absolutely, you haven't just destroyed the tip goal today, you have completely obliterated it. Is that a word? Did I say that correctly? That's a big word. You guys have destroyed the tip goal today. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Look at that. Wow. Can we take a moment to just spam those emotes in the chat? Show all of our tippers today that we are extremely thankful and grateful for them. Can we just spam those emotes for a moment? Thank you guys so much. Holy shit. I don't even know what to say at this point. It's okay, two tires. It takes time for the brain to make that memory connection, right? It takes time to make that memory connection. Keep doing what you're doing. It sounds like you're on the right track. Absolutely. Yeah, wow, I can't believe that. That is insane. That is insane. That is a ridiculous tip jar today. Thank you guys so much. Samantha, Arlene, Mary, Teddy. Who else? I feel like I'm leaving somebody else out here. Arlene, Samantha, Leanne. There we go. Thank you guys so much. Teddy, Mary. Wow, thank you guys. Yeah, not doing that was hard at first, exactly, because you're cutting out your coping methods, which is not exactly quote unquote easy, but you're starting to show your brain by not using them that the danger is not real. And there you go. Yes, not reacting is key. I know it's easier said than done. It took me months to realize this, but it's you that's keeping yourself stuck with acting and behaving fearfully. Absolutely. You really got it, man. You really got it. You really got it. Everybody go read that comment. Hell, write that comment down. Write that comment down. Thanks, bro. How have you been? I've been great, man. How you been? Being in nature, walking and swimming at the beach daily, art class, and volunteering with seniors helped me so much. It's worth the hard work. Yes, those are all very positive accepting behaviors. And remember, you can use positive accepting behaviors in big or small ways. You don't have to completely feel like, oh, God, I've got so much I got to do. No, it can be small ways. As long as you're not reacting, right? Retraining the brain. Your videos give us a lot of hope and living a happy life. Hey, that's awesome, dude. Now you just got to use it. Now you just got to use it, right? Hey man, I appreciate all you guys. I really, really do. It's been a great stream. You guys have sent so many tips. Quite mind blowing. Thank you guys so much. But we just surpassed the hour mark. In fact, we're almost to an hour and a half. So I am going to go ahead and leave this stream here. It will be getting uploaded. I'm very happy with the point of today's stream, and I hope people take something from it. Understand, guys, recovery lies on the other side of letting go of these rituals, compulsions, and negative, fearful reactions and behaviors, right? Be the person you want to be with your behaviors, and the brain will soon follow up. All right, you guys. I love you. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. All right. Love you guys. Take it easy. Stay awesome. And I'll see you in the next one.